to one and all present here in this room. And I welcome you all to Skilling on Saturdays on these chilly winter mornings. How many of you are from northern parts of India? Yeah, very good morning, Kevin, Nirupma. Okay, Gaurav Ji is from northern part. Wonderful to know. So today we have with us Dr. Alka Chadha, and she's from Mumbai. She is a practicing doctor with a keynote speaker who is a keynote speaker and a passionate storyteller. He helps organizations create harmonious and happy workplaces. Dr. Alka is the founder of her Endocrine Centre, a happiness school, and a seniors club. Dr. Alka is a yoga and meditation guru and NLP practitioner, ICF certified coach, HYL facilitator, and author of three books: Shukriya Zindagi, Anthology of Purpose, Happy Couples, and her next book, Daughters, will be releasing soon. With this brief introduction, I welcome you, Alka ma'am, on Skilling on Saturdays. Welcome, ma'am. Namaskar and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shivani, for giving me this platform. And it's a privilege for me to be talking to all you beautiful people. So, I have a question that all of you are CAs. How many of you are in the industry of accounting or CA? And what are you people doing? How many of you are CAs? Can you show by your hand? Is it possible, even if you're in Delhi, to come on the screen? I would be very happy to speak to people rather than to speak to screens. Is it possible? There's many people. Rajesh, thank you for coming on screen. Hirani ji, बहुत thank you to be there on screen. Yeah, Praveena. Praveena is a CA, I think. Gaurav Sharma, thank you for coming on screen. So it gives me a lot of pleasure to be here. And when Shivani was introducing, I was thinking about my own story, which I will tell a bit later. But I want to ask you all a question. As a CA, and I'm a doctor by profession and I'm a speaker, so what is the commonality that we have between our jobs and our the work that we do? Anybody? I want it to be interactive. I don't want that I'm speaking on one side. So if you interact with me,
One,
it will give me a lot of joy. Yeah, yeah. Shivani.
one thing is Doctor's Day and CA Day is celebrated on the same day, 1st of
Okay.
July.
Thank you. What is the other commonality? So we are actually, both of our works are to serve the community. We are
Yeah,
helping
I
people.
was about to add.
Yeah, thank you. And we are all in the same boat, and we are public servants. And when we take our work from that angle, the purpose of our life is to help people. You are helping people in different ways. I am helping people to have holistic well being. So we have some commonality. So ultimately, we need connection. Ultimately, when we are serving the community, when we are reaching out to people, when people are reaching out to us, we have a duty to do. We have a responsibility towards the work that we are doing, towards the people in our lives, and we all need to connect. So, if I tell you in my childhood, my I'll give you a story where, for me, I was the eldest of the daughters, and I used to always have, so the opposite house, there were Gujarati people staying, and our house doors, their door and our door, used to always be open throughout the day. We were walking into their house and they were walking into our house as if it is our own house. So that was a beauty of that time. And I was always given a bowl. Like my mother, she prepared chole, so she will say, चलो जाके दे के आओ. देन उनकी बेटी थी, वो आती थी यहाँ पे, और वो कुछ लेके आती थी. वो गुजराती थे तो वो लोग ढोकला बनाते थे, जो भी बनाते थे वो हमारे घर में लेके आती थी. एंड माई मदर एवरी डे, हो हलवा बनाया जाओ दे के आओ, ये बनाया जाओ दे के आओ. एंड आई टू गेट वेरी इरिटेटेड. I have to tell my mother, what? Like, you make me do so much of work, you want me to go there all the time and give them the things and all that. I don't want to go. So she said, no, go. But today I remember that that was connection. What our mothers were doing was making a human to human connection. And that bartan, that vessel that you give to them, fill it up and they bring it back. Yesterday, in fact, one patient came, and the last time when he came, we were having something on our table, and I'm remembering this because just now it came in my mind. He gave me a dabba. I think 6 months back he had come to my clinic, and he was sitting with me and we were talking to each other, and I don't know what we were serving at that time. Some chakli was there, or something was there, and he was the last patient, and it was remaining on my table. So I said, टेस्ट करो आप थोड़ा कुछ खा लो चकली है ये दिवाली का मौका था पता नहीं क्या था. सो ही सेड नहीं नहीं मुझे नहीं खाना है मुझे नहीं लाना है मुझे नहीं कहना तो मेरा ना वहाँ पे एक स्टील का डब्बा पड़ा हुआ था. सो आई जस्ट पुट इट इन दैट स्टील का डब्बा एंड आई गेव इट टू हिम. And after 6 7 months, I think it was in October, November. So, and yeah, I think 2 3 months it is. He came back to me yesterday with the dabba, and he had prepared. His wife had prepared something very beautiful, chole, and she had given it to me. So what I'm trying to say is there are different ways of making connection with people. It is up to us how we discover the commonality between each other. So selling is one of our propositions that we want more clients, we want more patients, but we can't sell by selling. The only way that we can sell is by connecting. And human connection is the only way. When we share our life with the opposite person, obviously, as a CA, you can't share your life with the opposite person. But let me tell you that when my dad used to be there, my dad was a scientist from Haba Atomic Research Center, and I used to notice one thing in my house, if an elderly man came, he was talking in a different way. When a younger person came, you have all seen it. We all do it actually. We change our voice, we change the way we talk, and the subject also we change. And if it was a young person, he would ask about the career. What do you want to do? What is your dream in your life? तो तुमको कैसा लगता है क्या अड़चन है what is the problems you're facing what are the challenges you're facing what are you how are you doing in your school how are you doing in your college. So this is how we have to connect with the person because when we meet a person we have to go to their level and then we have to talk. Imagine when you have a 3-year-old child in your house, you don't talk to him like a 12-year-old, right? So 3-year-old child, if I'm having about 2.5-year-old child in my own house, so I go to that level, I sit down to that level and I say, Kabir, won't you play with me? And then he will say, yeah, Dadi, I want to play with you. And then he'll come running with me. So basically, what I'm talking about is how we can change the way we behave, the way we talk to the people in our lives in order to have that connection. Every time we are talking to another person, we have mirror neurons. So neuroscience tells us that my neurons and your neurons are the same way. So imagine if you're angry. Imagine if you're angry and there's a client in front of you. You are in your clinic, in your office, and you are screaming at your junior, which I have done many times in my past, and sometimes even I do it now, but it's not the right thing to do. It's about controlling who we are. So when we are angry, we say certain things, and the person who is in front of me has the same negative feelings, opposed to a positive feeling like appreciation. When you see somebody and you appreciate somebody, that gives a different feeling altogether. When you make the other person feel seen and you make the other person feel heard. So today I want to tell you that we are hardwired for connection, for human connection. And if we do not connect, we are in trouble. And we are actually in big trouble because we are hiding behind our phones and our mental health is declining day by day by day. Because if you look at the children, if you look at the young adults, if you look at the teenagers, everybody is just about showing off on the social media. And because of that, they are getting into deep trouble. I had gone for a wedding recently, and one of my friend's daughter, I could not see her, so I went looking out for her. So she was sitting in one corner quietly, and she was looking very lovely. She was wearing a lovely dress and red colored dress she was wearing. And I went and sat with her, and I asked her, "बेटा क्या हुआ? तुम आओ चलो हम लोग डांस करते हैं. Let us enjoy the day today. It's a wedding." So she said, "No, I'm not coming." I said, what happened? What is the problem? Why are you not coming? Normally, you're a very active person. Normally, you're always dancing. You're not talking to anybody today. So, what happened? So, because when I sat with her and I looked into her eyes, she started crying. And I asked her, क्या हुआ बेटा क्यों रो रहे हो तुम ऐसा क्या बात हो गई. And what she told me shocked me completely. She said that आंटी मैंने ना ये जो ड्रेस मैंने पहना है ये 37,000 का ड्रेस मैंने खरीदा था so that like I want to look unique and I want to look different in the party. But you know what, auntie? That other girl is wearing the same dress. I didn't know what to laugh or to cry, but because she was crying herself, I had to sit with her and I had to talk to her. But today, let me tell you, friends, that we are doing everything just because we want to show off to the others. I could not give her a big lecture on at that time. I only told her one thing. I said, "Beta, I cannot see that other girl. I don't know where she is, what she is wearing, what dress she is wearing. I'm not able to see anybody, but you are the most beautiful girl today, and I want you to come and dance with me. And come on and just forget about that other girl. Just think about yourself, and you're looking lovely today, and let us go and dance." And we did have a great time after that. Today we are hiding in our cell phones, we are hiding behind a mask, we are all wearing a mask, and the connections with our other people in our lives are becoming lesser and lesser. For me, connecting with the world comes second. Connecting with yourself comes first. My question to all of you is, are you even connected with your own self? So, how many of you feel that you're connected with your own self and you know yourself? As a child, my mother used to always tell me, my father used to always tell me, know yourself. This is self realization. I never used to understand what it is. So, tell me, how many of you think that you are connected with your own self? Connected with yourself means, do you know yourself? Do you know who you are? It's not about what you're doing. I know you're great people, you're doing fantastic work in whatever you're doing. But the question that I want to ask you is, do you feel connected with your own self? How many times do you sit with yourself and have a conversation with yourself? So, if our friend is in trouble, we automatically reach out to that friend and we say, कुछ मत चिंता मत कर, मैं हूं ना तेरे साथ में, मैं तुझे हेल्प करूंगी, मैं तुझे हेल्प करूंगा, अरे कुछ नहीं है प्रॉब्लम, ये तो बहुत छोटी छोटी प्रॉब्लम है. We sit with a friend and we give encouragement, we give support to that friend. But are we even supporting our own selves? Are we even understanding our own selves? So, connecting with yourself, according to me, is sitting in silence, sitting quiet, sitting with yourself, talking to yourself. Make your person of your face like you are sitting in front of you, like you're sitting in a Zoom meeting and you have only your picture in front of you. And then talk to yourself and ask questions to yourself. And then, when we ask repeatedly the same question again and again, क्या हुआ तुझे? क्या problem है? What do you want in your life? And that is how we get answers to our problems. We may not get it today, we may not get it tomorrow. You are all Gita, many of you are listening to Gita, so you know what the Gita is telling. But connecting to yourself is very, very important. I'll tell you what happened few years back. For me, everything used to be my responsibility. I felt that whatever I do in my house, whatever happens right or wrong, is my responsibility. Just 1 minute, I'll just put this phone off. It was my responsibility. So I never understood that. I understood one thing, that whatever is happening in my life, how many of the ladies can relate to this? Sab theek hona chahiye. Whatever I'm doing should happen correctly. The food should be nice. The husband should be happy. The children should be happy. How many of you relate? Even boys do that. So I was this kind of person where I felt that I was a people pleaser and I wanted my mother-in-law to be happy. I wanted everybody in my family to be happy. तो मैं ऐसे कुछ करती थी जिससे कि मुझे लगे कि सब खुश होने चाहिए मेरे साथ. But ultimately, I was not happy from within myself. I had no connection with myself. So one day, the car had to pick up my husband from the airport, and I was in a Rajesh Khanna night. That day, my friend said that there's Rajesh Khanna night happening in the auditorium in the nearby theater, and why can't we go for the Rajesh Khanna night? I said, yeah, good. My husband is not there, and he'll be coming back late in the night, 10:30, 11. So let's go for this night. And I was in the night, and I was enjoying the Rajesh Khanna songs, whatever beautiful songs Rajesh Khanna has sung. Anybody want to remember any song? Pyar Divana Hota Hai. And there were so many songs, when that person was singing there. And suddenly I hear my phone ring and my husband is asking me, The car has not come to pick me up. What is the problem? And I got so messed up with myself, and I got so angry with myself that why did I had sent the car, but why he was not able to reach on time, I never understood. And it was not my mistake at all. It was not the driver's mistake at all. But there was something wrong in the network that day, that we could not reach out to the driver. The driver was there on the airport, but we could not reach out to the driver, and that's why the problem happened. But I was blaming myself. I spoilt the whole night of mine where I was enjoying with my friends. And that time I realized that it is about understanding who you are. You're not responsible for each and everything that happens in your life. So this is some of the incidents I'm just remembering right now. I'm married to the person who is very, very quiet. How many of you have spouses who are very, very quiet? Can you show by your raise of hands? Or you all have talkative spouses? Nobody wants to say that? Yes, Mohan is telling why females only. Everyone thinks. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, all the songs from Anand and beautiful film from beautiful. Yeah, correct. So we all have spouses in our lives. We all have partners in our lives, and we want to make them feel seen, and that should be our main aim. So how many of us actually appreciate people?
Yes.
Bolo bolo. How do you appreciate people? How do you show your appreciation for people in your life? And is it Gaurav Sharma who was answering?
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
So Gaurav, I would like to hear from you. I like to have some interaction. So can you
Sure.
give me? Yeah. So in what way?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
So in my office, if I go with the one office star, so office every quarter, I do send the recognition to the guys in other departments also who are contributing into my area, my function, or my team. That is one way. Second, of course, thank you is the very easy thing which I always do. I always say thank, even in for teeny small things, whichever they do. Even I tell to my wife, my parents also that you are my main and best stakeholders. Because of you, I'm able to do a lot in my life. So even I kids, everyone so around me, because I feel so resourceful. So of course, gratitude is must, and I'm very conscious of that. Yeah.
Kya baat hai. I think a big round of applause for Gaurav Sharma. It will wake everybody up and more people come on screen. Thank you, Ran Vijay, for coming on screen. I'm very grateful to you. And anybody else wants to share? Ran Vijay, yeah, bolo.
Yeah, so for team, like what I do is like every weekend when we before we wind up the work, I just say this word. I really appreciate and acknowledge all your effort done throughout this week. So that is for the team. And coming to family, yes, I always acknowledge whatever they do, and especially to my spouse, I am very grateful to her. And indeed, she is a very supporting in whatever I do, and so she is like a homemaker, but I can understand the way she has contributed. So I feel grateful from my heart, and I speak to her as well. At the same time, I have gone through uh, I haven't read, but there is a book called Five Languages of Love. But I have
Yeah,
given a test of Five Languages of Love, and with that, I came to know like how you want feel to be appreciated, and at the same time, so I did that test for myself and my for my spouse. So I know how to appreciate her, what makes her feel appreciated. So that is where I have reached one level extra, and at least
kya baat hai.
figured out what works.
Thank you, Ran Vijay. Beautiful sharing. Rajesh, over to you.
I always believe appreciation and recognitions are powerful tools to recognize people and their efforts and thanking them, whether it is a professional or family. I even keep on repeating also. Use this wherever we go. We go. Use this powerful tool, appreciation and recognitions.
Wonderful, Rajesh. Wonderful, Ranvijay. Soul Mirror is going on eating something. I don't know what she's eating. I also feel like eating. Yeah, I know it's early in the morning. Everybody is very hungry.
Sorry,
And
ma'am. Like early morning, you asked me to switch on, and I wake up at 4:30 or something. So I felt like hungry. So I let me
thank
say
you. Yeah,
grab
but
something and sit it over here.
thank you for
And at the
coming.
same time, you requested for switch on the camera. I couldn't sit without camera. So
Lovely,
thank you
lovely.
so much
I
for
love
giving this opportunity and notifying me. Yeah, I would
it.
like to put my insights a little bit of that is, connection is something so vital part of life that without connecting, we are completely unfulfilled. And there is the main part is missing of life without connection.
क्या बात
That's
है.
what the one liner I would like to say. And in the same time, appreciating is again the accentuating the positivity within anyone and everyone that is around us. That's the only thing if we do being a human, that anything goes wrong, we immediately point it out more than when we point it out the what's going right in our life, which is the part of gratitude. In the same time, there are many rules. I'm a being a inner child and this parenting coach. I just like keep on teaching this similar kind of thing that accentuate the positivity throughout the world. That's the only thing you can able to see more miracles and more things in your life. So thank you so much. You look so beautiful. I
Oh
would
my
must
God.
appreciate that first of all.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
the Asa Parik and the Kapoor families, they look like you, not you look like that, but they look like you exactly. So I must appreciate that as well. Such a admirable and such a inspiring lady you are. Thank you.
thank you, Soul Mirror. I don't know
And
your name.
Tapaswini, love your energy.
Yeah. And Hirani ji, boliye. Over to you, sir.
Nahi, when we were talking about connection, previously I remember when in our house we had to make papad, simple thing, a papad.
Yeah.
My mother used to give, say 100 pieces to somebody. You do it, you make it. So they could distribute between themselves. That was a connection. So
Yes.
when they used to have papad, they will send to us.
Yes.
It's a small thing, huh? But there
Yeah.
is a connection in community. So connection is something that is what we live for. And now we have lost that. We are only connected to the Facebook or this mobile or whatever you call it, and the whole world is there, but we are not connected.
Thank
We
you
have
so
got
much.
lots of friends, but no friends.
Yes. Thank you, Hirani ji, for sharing this very vital point. And you taken me back to my childhood where, when Diwali was there, all our neighbors, this was in an older house when we had one neighbor, but in the next house we had many neighbors. And we used to sit in my house kitchen on the floor. And when Diwali was there, we were making the chips and the chaklis and the semia and all that. And we children were hanging around there helping our mothers and aunties over there. And those memories are so deeply entrenched into my heart, into my soul. And I'm so happy to be sharing this with you. And I've never shared this with anybody, that today Hirani ji, when he started telling about this point, papad point, I remembered that we were making a lot of papads also, and chips also, aloo ka chips also. So all of you have shared very beautifully how we can connect with the world around us, with the people around us, and that is beautiful. We need to appreciate people. We need to make people seen and to make people heard. Because I heard a quote that said that the hunger for connection, for hunger for recognition, the hunger for acknowledgement, the hunger to be noticed is more than the hunger for actually food. But my question to you is, how are you connecting with your own self? The deeply connected you are with your own self, the only way to connect with your own self is sitting in silence. So, as I was sharing with you, that I got married to a person who is very quiet, who's very unagitated, unruffled in any part of his life. So it was very easy to fall in love with such a person. I had gone for an examination and he was sitting in front of me quiet when the whole examination hall was, full of excitement and, अरे तुझे ये आता है क्या नहीं आता है क्या क्या करेंगे कैसे करेंगे क्या करेंगे. And this person was sitting quietly in front of me on the desk in front of me, just like this or like this, and quietly. He was not bothered about the rest of the world. And falling in love with such a person is very, very easy. But I'm a very talkative person. And today I want to tell you that I had to really understand myself in order to understand my husband. Because I love this man and I was not understanding that how I'm going to live with a person who has no reaction. I wanted to fight with somebody. I wanted to have an argument with somebody. I wanted someone to disagree with me. But that person was never there. And it is my whole entire life of 41 years of my marriage which has helped me to understand myself and to connect with myself. And I urge you all, let us sit in silence. Let us all sit quietly. Close your eyes. Go to that sacred place within yourself. Ask yourself one very pertinent question today. What do I really, really want? Why do I want what I want? These are the two questions when we ask ourselves every single day. They give us a lot of answers over a period of time. I teach yoga. I'm teaching yoga for more than 35 years now. I learned yoga long back in 1990 and I became a teacher in 91. So it's been a long time. The youngsters, when they come, they're not able to close their eyes. They open their eyes, but slowly they sit in silence. So when we ask these questions to ourselves, we want more and more to sit in silence and to connect with our own selves. Slowly you can open your eyes and these questions remain with you, the answers remain with you. And what I have seen is over a period of time, the answers change, they evolve. My dad is a scientist and married to a very, very spiritual woman, my mother. My mother was not that educated like my dad, but the respect that he showed for my mother, that the caring that he showed for my mother taught me that I want to be a good father, I want to be a good mother, and I want to be a good partner. So, connection with yourself actually makes you very powerful. You understand your own flaws. It's about embracing yourself with all your strengths and with all your flaws. It's not about finding faults with yourself every single time. One of the ways my dad used to connect with us was he used to write a lot of letters to us. And I used to think that he's writing letters only to me. But one day I was sitting with my cousin, my mama's son, and we were just sharing something. I was in college and I was telling him that my father wrote this letter to me and he said, "You are Jhansi ki Rani and you are this and you are that." So he said, "तो फिर क्या बात है? मुझे भी पापा ने लेटर दिया था." And I got very upset with my dad. I said, "पापा आप खाली मुझे लिखते थे कि उसको भी लिखते थे?" So Papa said, "मैं सबको लिखता हूँ." So one of the ways of connecting with people is writing letters. The other thing that I experienced in my own life was we went for a lot of movies together, only me and my dad. He used to take me and he used to pakao me throughout the movie. Why I'm saying pakao me? Because, like, if you remember, the movie was Dur Gagan Ki Chhaav Mein. So in that movie, it's about a lost child. The Kishore Kumar goes for a fight. He's a soldier, and he goes for a war. And when he comes back, he's lost everything. He's lost his wife, his mother, his family, and only thing, the son. He had a very small son. The son was hiding somewhere, so he got saved, but he lost his voice. And the whole movie is about how he helps his son to get his voice back. And throughout this movie, my dad will keep giving commentary. See, this is what happens. This is how you should do. This is how your compassion should be. You should be very kind, and how you can get what you want in your life. So, what I'm saying is that how we connect is up to us. How we connect to our spouse, how we connect to our children, how we connect to our team members in the organization. But one thing I've learned as a doctor, when we ask the question to a patient or to anybody, how are you? The the intention should be that I really want to know how are you. It should not be a casual question कि शिवानी क्या हाल है आपका? नहीं. शिवानी कैसा लग रहा है आपको? And looking into the eyes gives a depth. We are online right now, but when we are face to face, when we look into the person's eyes and when we ask that person, क्या हाल चाल है आपका? सब ठीक है ना? And that is the time when you give that intention that you really want to know about that person, when you're curious to know how that person is feeling, automatically the connection happens. There was this elderly man. having a very sad face. Every time he used to come, I used to ask him, क्या चल रहा है? ठीक है, fine, सब कुछ बहुत अच्छा है. So मैंने एक दिन पूछा, शर्मा जी, he was name was Sharma. I said, शर्मा जी, सब ठीक है ना? I looked into his eyes and he sat down on the chair and started crying. He said, beta, I have only one son in my house. He is very successful in his career, but he has no time to talk to me. Friends, this is something I see all the time. We are connecting with the whole world, but what about our own family members? Are we taking all the time to connect with our family members, to spend some time just listening to somebody? I think if the question we ask somebody in our house, it could be your mom, it could be your dad, how are you? What are you doing? That would give a lot of clarity, and that person will feel seen and that person will feel heard. I want to ask you all, how are you connecting with your family members? And how much time are we spending with our family members during the day? We are fast growing. We are from different parts of India and we are all success driven. Very nice. It's very nice to be success driven. But what are we missing out? I get all the time CEOs of companies. I get very highly qualified people in my clinic. सब कुछ है मैडम, हमारे पास कोई कमी नहीं है. डॉक्टर मैडम, घर है, गाड़ी है, बंगला है, दैट दीवार दीवार का जो डायलॉग है. बट वो जो माँ नहीं है ना, वो माँ, it's not about माँ नहीं है, it is about they feel empty inside of themselves. And the reason that we feel empty inside of ourselves is because that inner satisfaction, that inner fulfillment is not there. So when all of you are here in front of me, when you are doing your work so successfully, when you're connecting with your family, when you're connecting with the people in your life, you automatically get that. And when you're serving the world, so you are serving that service-oriented intention when we have behind our heads. It gives us a lot of inner satisfaction. Hirani ji wants to say something. Over to you, Hirani ji.
अभी मुझे याद नहीं रखी कुछ बात करना था बट वन थिंग आई टेल यू यू आर अ हीलर ऑफ बॉडी दिस सीएस आर हीलर ऑफ आवर फाइनेंशियल मिस्टेक्स बट देयर वाज समथिंग यू सेड आई वांटेड टू से आई जस्ट फॉरगॉट आई एम सॉरी
कोई बात नहीं. आप अभी मुझे ना इंटरप्ट करके बोलना शुरू कर दो, मैं चुप हो जाऊंगी, क्योंकि मुझे नहीं, मैं नहीं
ओके
चाहती कि आप भूलो कि आप क्या बोलना चाहते हो. आई वांट एवरीवन टू शेयर व्हाट यू वांट टू शेयर. सो इन केस आई डिडंट नोटिस द
हाँ
हैंड.
आई वांटेड टू से दिस माय मदर शी हैड अ लंग फाइब्रोसिस and she was sick but she was so happy because me and my brother we had to make a point to sit with her and talk to her. She just wanted us to be there, that's all. She never explained anything else. That's what I want. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And whether the mother has fibrosis or not, every mother just wants to even if the son is or anybody in the house asks her, मम्मी आपने खाना खाया क्या, how much happiness it's going to give her. So there was this boy who came to my house. My son is like 35 years of age, and we have a lot of people coming over to our house. And he was sitting with me. He came early, and my son was inside, and I took an opportunity. So I never miss an opportunity to connect with these youngsters. So I was asking him, धर्मेश, धर्मेश क्या चल रहा है तेरी जिंदगी में, क्या है? अरे मैडम बहुत अच्छा है, मेरा इसका रिलायंस का जॉब है, आई एम वेरी बिजी एंड आई एम मेकिंग लॉट ऑफ मनी एंड आई एम वेरी वेरी हैप्पी. And then I was listening to whatever he was telling, and I do this and I do this and I do that. And then suddenly when I was listening to him, he said that, मैम एक क्वेश्चन पूछूं आपको? I said हाँ पूछो. He says, मैम इतना बिजी हूं ना मैं कि मुझे टाइम नहीं मिलता मेरी मम्मी के साथ में बैठने का. और वो बहुत कंप्लेन करती है और वो हमेशा मुझे बोलती है कि यू डोंट हैव टाइम फॉर मी, यू डोंट हैव टाइम फॉर मी. एंड आई एम रिसेंटली मैरिड मैडम, एंड आई हैव टू गिव टाइम टू माई वाइफ ऑल्सो. हाउ कैन आई गिव टाइम टू माई मदर? और मुझे इतनी हंसी आई ये सुन के कि मैंने कहा मम्मी को आपसे कुछ नहीं चाहिए. मम्मी ये नहीं बोलती कि मेरे साथ में आके बैठो, आप अगर आते जाते भागते भागते भी आप उसको एक फोरहेड पे जाके किस दे दो, एक जाके आप हक दे दो, और एक छोटी सी बात कर दो कि मम्मी मैं आपको शाम को मिलता हूँ, अभी मैं जल्दी में हूँ. मम्मी आपने नाश्ता किया कि नहीं किया, मम्मी आपका क्या हाल है. इट्स इनफ फॉर हर. She's not waiting. She doesn't want 1 hour with you. You just show the intention of showing your love for your mother is important. You may be very, very busy, but it is the intention. During the lockdown, I remember we used to have Zoom meetings. Like I'm sitting in one room, husband in the other room, the son in the other room, and we were all sitting in Zoom meetings. Nobody had any time for anybody. But I remember one thing very, very clearly. I was sitting in the Zoom meeting. It was 9:30 in the night, And suddenly I see that my husband is coming into my room, and I'm telling him, नहीं 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 यहाँ मत आओ, मेरा सेशन चल रहा है. He said, अरे बाबा मैं तुमको खाना देने आया हूँ, तुमने खाना नहीं खाया. And these are the things we can do for each other. It's not a rocket science to just care for somebody. It's not caring that you want to give some gift to somebody. Today's couples, I feel that they want to have what you call as those candlelight dinners. They want to go for big, expensive vacations. That's not the way to show your love. Your love need not be shown by having these big vacations. You don't need money to show your love. You just have to show that you care, and the caring can be shown in very little ways. Even the caring for the patient. I'll give you an example. When I go to my husband's room and I see what he's doing, he's hardly talking about the patient's illness. All he's talking is about stocks, depending on the person who is sitting in front of you. Even with my CA, they go and they talk about other stuff. They don't talk about the actual stuff, what is there. So the CA and we are together for I think 35, 40 years now. I started my journey with the same CA about 40 years back when I started my clinic. And I'm very grateful to you people because you have shown me a lot of knowledge, a lot of way, and I learned a lot about financials, finances, financial planning, and everything from you people. And this CA, he taught me how to make a project report. I was applying for my first loan, and I didn't have any money. He's with me from that time, and I told him कि मुझे लोन चाहिए मेरे घर के लिए. एंड घर के लिए लोन तो मेरे को मिल गया, बट उसके बाद में आई एम स्टिल रिपेइंग माई घर का लोन, बट आई हैड टू टेक लोन फॉर माई इक्विपमेंट, फॉर माई कार, for so many things in my life. I've taken loans of upgrading my clinic. And he used to teach me that how to make a project report. You tell that how much money can you make in one day, how much money can you make in this many days, how much can you repay in the first year, how much can you repay in the second year. And that's how he taught me, and I'm so grateful to him. And after that, I have applied for so many loans, and I used to always write down the points that what he taught me, and I used to get my loan sanctioned. But he also taught me keep repaying your loans as fast as you can. So whatever I used to earn, I used to put it back and I used to repay my loan. And that is what I always say, that some people say that loans should not be taken. It's all right, but I feel that a good CA can teach you how to take a good loan and how to repay a good loan and how to work hard. And taking a loan has helped me to make my life more better. The quality of my life has improved because of taking so many loans. Because then what we do is we don't waste our money. We don't waste our money. I remember my friend used to ask me when my children were very small, hey चल ना वहाँ पे सेल लगा है, चल वहाँ पे जाके कुछ कपड़े खरीदते हैं. I said no, I don't have the time and I don't have the money to go and waste money. So the word sale, no, has something. It creates chemical locha in the brain of a woman. How many of you agree? The word sale. How many of you agree that Run is laughing? Run Vijay is laughing. But the word sale and the word free creates something what is called a chemical locha. I want to ask you all of you here, that why do you buy a dress? A dress, a coat, a shirt. Why do we buy? Anybody can answer that question. I'll just drink water by that time. Anybody? Why do you buy a
For
dress?
others, not for us. To look good.
Absolutely. So my dad used to always say, you want to buy a sari because your friend has a sari, and the second reason is your friend doesn't have a sari. It's just like that, as simple as that. And he taught me that you buy a sari not because your friend is having a sari or not having a sari. You buy a sari only because you want to wear it, because you want it, or you need it. So the want and need was enforced on me as a child, कि आपको चाहिए या आपको खाली चाहिए. चाहिए के मतलब है कि आपकी इच्छा है कि ये साड़ी मुझे चाहिए. So when I was young, I never understood. But during the lockdown, friends, there were a lot of lessons we learned in the lockdown. We didn't have people to connect with, and the family members became very important to us. And I remember that whenever I used to open my cupboard, the clothes used to keep falling. We were not even wearing those clothes. We were living a minimalistic life because we were not going out anywhere. And whenever I used to open my cupboard, the clothes used to just fall down like this. And that's the time I realized that we don't need so many clothes. We don't need so many things. It's okay for youngsters to buy. And of course, I'm also very fond of buying clothes. But my this dress may be about 15 years old, and I'm having this chunni for 15 years. And I've kept it nicely so I can wear it whenever I want to wear it. So what I'm talking about connection, it comes back to the point that what are we doing and why are we doing? We are buying clothes to impress others or to impress ourselves. These are the questions which have helped me in my life. I want you all to share in your life, how are you making connections with your own customers? Any stories you want to share with me? I just pick up the bottle of water. So I can go on talking, but I want you also to share. How do you connect with your own customers? My CA has a knack of connecting, and we don't talk about only our accounts and all that. We talk about all about life. So if you follow what I'm telling you, is you are also doing the same thing. I'm sure in your own offices you're sitting and talking about life as such. मैं ऐसे बोलती हूँ कि I'm a very talkative person, but I help people to become quiet because I help them to go in stillness time. I help them to go in silence time and to reflect on their life. Because I think there are two tools which are very important. One is reflection and the other is introspection. We don't do that very often. Today, we have a very fast life. We are running and running and running, and God knows where we are running. And I had this life. Yes, Gaurav, boliye sir.
Sure. So, Dr. Alka, for me, it's like I don't have the direct clients or customer because I'm into the corporate. So we have stakeholders. So of course, I do connect with them regularly for small my successes. I do share. I do ask for the feedback because I am firm believer that feedback is for feed forward. So I always do that, becoming vulnerable in front of them also. That this piece of work I didn't do well, and I see what they are saying, whether they are my stakeholder or they are my sponsors. When they say, "No, no, Gaurav, this is not a failure. I think you did a great job." That time I realize that they are more connected with me in a right manner.
बिल्कुल.
Someone is critical, giving the critical or constructive feedback, that is also fine, because that is also giving me some challenge to ignite me to do more. So I do connect with those guys also. So always those who are saying good, I sometimes may connect, not that frequently, who give the right feedback. Some
Correct.
of them just say the good, yeah, you are doing good. It
Yeah.
means they don't have words right now sometimes. So I do connect with on mails to them. Sometimes they more open. But yeah, that way it really helps me to make a connection. My habit is I do share my personal things, and then I start realizing they also start getting open up. So this is the way I make connection. Yeah.
Hirani ji, over to you.
Ah, as Gaurav said, that I don't have customer. From my point of view, what always tell my what is except me, everybody around me is my customer. It may be employee, it may be my vendor, it may be somebody who is buying what I say. Everybody's customer. So what Gaurav said is very nice. You take feedback, it is feed forward. It's beautiful. And
Very.
madam, I will tell you, you are a very lucky woman. You have got a husband who is only listening.
So
Thank you.
I'm also very lucky, and he's also, and I always say that I'm very fortunate because I learned about myself. I learned, otherwise I would have not learned about myself. The self discovery which has taken me to understand my husband. First, it was to understand myself. So I'm very lucky, and thank you, Raniji, for appreciating my husband. And my husband is always the center of my universe and the center of my talks wherever I go. But today I'm going to share something else with you. Whatever Gaurav and Hiraniji have told about feedback, about negative feedback, I think if somebody is giving us a negative feedback, it's very helpful. If we do not believe in that person, and if we say कि वो मेरे से जलता है या वो मेरे से ये करता है, then we are the losers. Very beautifully you have captured this, Gaurav ji, and I learned this lesson long back in my life. I remember there was this farewell party of my school, and I sang that song Naina Barse. Anybody remembers that song? Anybody can sing?
Yes.
Naina
Nahi, nah, but-
Barse Rim Jim Rim Jim. Okay, so I got lot of applause and everything, and everybody said very nice. And it was a song which we were feeling from our heart, and we were singing because we were all going away from school to college. When I was coming out of the gate, when I was just coming out of the classroom, when I was just coming out of that auditorium, there was this girl who was standing there. I still remember her name. She was Achila. She was in yellow house and she was wearing a yellow tie. And she said to me, Alka, don't think you sang very well. You sang horribly and your sur were all upside down. I said, what now? ये तो बस अपने आप को पता नहीं क्या समझती है. How dare she talk to me like this? But when I went home, when I shared this with my dad was also a singer, and my dad and all of us, we were four sisters, and we used to all sing together. So I told my dad that she told me like this, and what does she think of herself? And मैंने इतना practice किया था, मैंने इतना अच्छा गाना गाया. But my dad told me, sing, show me, sing and show me the song. So when I sang the song, it was not right. There were mistakes in my song, and my sur was up and down. And this I learned this lesson long back in my life. And today I tell you that if anybody appreciates me, I don't take it seriously. Not that I don't take it seriously in that way, but I like when somebody poses a challenge to me. When somebody tells me, "Madam, what you're saying is not right." I like it even in this forum. If somebody comes and tells me that, "Madam, this is not the way it should be. This should be like that." So I agree to disagree. I'm okay to disagree with you, and also to take back a feedback that how I can improve myself after this session today. And every time I ask for a feedback, Shivani, sit and be ready with the feedback for me. And all of you, I would love to have a feedback from you because it is my need to improve myself every time I go in for any other session. The other thing I want to share is that why are we running? What are we running about? What do we want in our life? This question, if we ask ourselves, the reason that we don't connect with the people in our lives is because we are running. We're running and running and running. किस चीज़ के पीछे भाग रहे हैं वो भी हमें नहीं पता है, और हम ये भागने की वजह से हमारा ह्यूमन कनेक्शन जो है ना कम 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 हो रहा है. हमको क्या चाहिए? So if you meet a young boy at 25, 30, he will say, I want money, I want name, I want fame. And उस चक्कर में वो सब कुछ जो उसके लाइफ में डिस्ट्रैक्शंस होते हैं ना, mother is a distraction, wife is a distraction, child is a distraction, he loses connect with everything. I can tell you it has happened with me also. Very early in my life, I was also running.
Madam, everybody wants peace and happiness. They're
Correct.
running for that and they don't get it.
Because the purpose of
They're
life
running
is,
after it.
you're absolutely right, Hirani ji. And I think the purpose of life has become money, and we are forgetting that money is going to give us happiness, but not all the happiness. So the other part of happiness and peace comes from human connection. It comes, the inner fulfillment and the inner contentment comes when we talk to another person, when we make the other person feel happy. I was in the lift one. Let me first finish the running story. So I was running and running and running. I did, it was a hot April morning one day, and I was going to drop my. I had two children. I was holding my 1 year old in my left arm, and my 3 year old I was holding my right hand, and I was loaded with bags, water bags, and books. As I reached the Bombay, if everybody knows in Mumbai who's staying, they will know that the Mumbai local trains are the trains which teach you everything about life. If you have traveled by the train, you know that life is not easy, and this is where it's going to be. It's a roller coaster. So I reached the station to drop my children to the babysitter, to the, and when I reached there, my train was already on the platform. Now, if all of you know, how many of you have traveled by local trains or any train, when you see the train and yeah, thank you,
Yes.
Ranvir. So you know that the train is going to leave in X number of seconds, and it is my duty to catch this train. It is my need to catch this train. So what I did was I scooped up my little one in my right arm and I started running. And as I was running, about to reach the train on the platform, we all three of us fell flat on the hot concrete ground. The children were crying, Mummy, Mummy, what you doing? What you doing? And what beautiful thing happened was life is so beautiful that as I was down, I couldn't even get up. I looked up and there were 10 hands there to lift me up from there. Two of them were on the ground, who sat down on the ground with me, and they helped me to pick up my things, and they said, "Ma'am, आप ये ट्रेन में मत जाना, इसको मिस कर दो, अगली ट्रेन लेना." लेकिन मेरे को तो, मैं झांसी की रानी, मैंने कहा नहीं नहीं, मैं तो जाना है, मेरी बहुत छुट्टियां वेस्ट हो गई हैं, अगर मैंने ये ट्रेन मिस कर दी तो मेरी CL हो जाएगी. So I picked up and they helped me. And if you know the local trains in Mumbai, you don't climb a train, you're pushed into a train. So I was pushed with my children and with all my saman into the train. I got into the train and my children were still crying, and I dropped them with a very heavy heart. I dropped them to the babysitter. But do you know what happened when I came back to the train to go to my place of work? I realized that I also have a foot. That means, as mothers or even as fathers, as parents, we forget who we are when we are with our children. And when I looked at my foot, it was having excruciating pain, and the right ankle had become so fat. It had become like an elephant foot. And when I reached the hospital, it was diagnosed with a fracture, and I was immobilized in a cast. And it was not that my foot was immobilized, I was immobilized, my life was immobilized. And that, my friends, was a message from the universe. Pause, slow down, take time for
Yeah,
your own.
absolutely.
Do you feel, how do you feel that the universe is talking to you? How many of you feel that the universe is talking to you? The universe is
Mm,
always showing.
Always,
every moment,
always.
because we are connected.
Absolutely. Thank you, Hirani ji. Universe is always speaking to us, provided we our antenna is aligned to the universe. It's always showing us some signs. But if you're not aligned to the universe, to the divinity, we don't get the message from the universe. And this, my friends, was my first lesson that I learned, to take a pause. And I was earning 1,000 rupees, my husband was earning 1,000 rupees, and my installment for my house was 1,800 rupees. I can't leave my job because I have only 200 rupees to run my family. But do you know what I did the next day? I did a lot of thinking, a lot of introspection, a lot of whatever reflection. And within the next 2 days, I gave in my resignation. I gave in my resignation because I thought that my health, my family's health, my children's health was at jeopardy, and nothing is worth it if I lose my own health and my children are not happy, if I am not happy. All this money that I'm earning and I'm going to pay my installment and this loan and all that is not going to help me. And I didn't know how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to pay my installment. I only knew one thing, that universe is my friend and universe is going to help me. वो पिक्चर है ना, ओम शांति ओम का जो डायलॉग है कि आप कुछ बहुत शिद्दत से जब चाहते हो तो पूरी कायनात आपको हेल्प करने के लिए आती
Yeah,
है. That movie came very later in my life. This is, I'm talking about absolutely about 40 years back. And I gave in my resignation, and sure enough, I did find a way. And as I was spending more time with my children, as I was playing with my children, as I was connecting with my children, I started telling them stories. I started storytelling groups, and telling them storytelling groups, the parents joined. Slowly, the grandparents joined. And before the grandparents joined, I started my own happiness school, because that was what I was missing in my life. And over 5 years, I'd established my happiness school, and where children, adults, everybody was coming, and I was telling them that happiness is a skill. It is not something that you have to run after. Happiness comes to us when we give happiness to other people. So this is my journey, and over a period of time, as I was running the happiness school, I what I did was, these juniors, I joined them with the seniors. And very late in my life, when I lost my parents, I I was invited to speak to the seniors. I was a yoga teacher already, and one of my friends, Saloni Yashpal, she rang me up one day and she told me, Alka, can you come and teach yoga to these seniors? It was very far away from my house. It was 45 minutes from my house. I said yes. And that yes has been my biggest yes in my life. And the need for me to serve others, the need for me to do something for others gives me the maximum fulfillment. I joined this group, and the first day I had only one lady who came for my yoga class. The second day, one lady came. The first day, lady did not come. The third day, three ladies came, but these two did not come. But today, I'm very proud to tell you we have more than 200 members today in our group. And it's not that I'm doing anything for them. The biggest beneficiary of this group is me, because they give me so much of love and affection, and they given me so much of support and encouragement when I was so low down in my life. And I feel people are our asset, people are our strength, and it is our need to connect with people, and we should connect with people to get that strength and that energy in us. And for me, these seniors, I'm sharing their stories now. We have sessions online and offline with them. And when they joined our group, they were not having a voice, they could hardly speak. It's a free group. Anybody is welcome in that group. And I have a little bit of a infrastructure where they come and they sit, and we give them chai, coffee, newspaper, storybooks. But one thing which is beautifully happening here is, I didn't expect it actually. The juniors were coming, the teenagers were coming. Teenagers का क्या problem होता है कि उनको घर में प्यार नहीं मिलता है. उनको वो लोग बोलते हैं, पढ़ो पढ़ो पढ़ो. वो पढ़ने 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 के चक्कर में द टीनेजर इज लॉस्ट. He says मुझे खाली पढ़ना नहीं है, मुझे बहुत कुछ करना है. And when I invite these children around my building, they come and they sit with the senior people. It's free time for anybody, and they come anytime and they sit. We have a room, dedicated room for them. And I have a lot of books in my library. So they read these books to the seniors. Some of the seniors tell their stories. The seniors actually are a storehouse of stories. They have so much of experiences in their life, and when they share. And one day I was seeing this one of these ladies. She's about a widow for many many years, and she was sharing her life story. And I decided that all these life stories I'm going to record. Today we are doing what we are doing is we are recording these stories, and this program is called Aapki Kahani, Aapki Zabani. And I'm surely going to make this into a movie. We're going to transcribe it and we're going to make it into a movie. Not movie, sorry, a book. And why I'm telling you all this, you can do this the same thing in your own life, in your own groups. These children, they feel valued when they tell their stories, when they listen to the stories of the elders, and the elders feel valued because when they share their stories with the youngsters. So both the people, the youngsters and the seniors, are getting a lot of value, and they're feeling heard, they're feeling seen, and they're feeling important. And one of the mothers of these children, they live in the next building. She came to me and she told me that initially when my child was attending this classes of yours, and I was thinking he's wasting his time, but today let me tell you, I mean, she told me in such a way that he's sitting and he's studying also properly. He's spending more time with himself. So making a child study is not about telling him pado 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 pado. That's not the way to make a child study. What I understood, I didn't do anything. I just made the two people meet. I made the juniors and the seniors meet, and whatever happened between them, something happens when we have a dialogue. Something happens when we have a conversation with another person. Something in us opens up. And that is the power of human connection. So, whatever is happening is between the two people, or three people, or four people who are in your life, and talking to each other opens up something inside of us. Shivani, I don't know how much time I have. I have not kept up, I have not kept the tag of time. How much time do I have?
You can continue. And it's so true. Your story for happiness center so much resonates with the similar story for skilling on Saturdays as well. So when we started, it was the same thing that you mentioned. So some very few people were joining, but then it's growing into a family sort of thing. It's a connection between speakers and the coaches, mentors, and the learners. So that's a wonderful thing that very well resonate with your story. And it's rightly said that you start something and you get the way forward.
Alka madam, one thing, as you said, a coach or a mentor
Yeah,
learn from his participant,
absolutely.
learns a lot.
क्या बात है, बिल्कुल. हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हम उनको चेंज कर रहे हैं, लेकिन वो हमें चेंज कर रहे हैं.
Coach.
बिल्कुल,
So
बिल्कुल
true.
सही बोला आपने. एंड दैट कम्स विद वल्नरेबिलिटी. आप जब उनकी प्रॉब्लम शेयर, आप उनकी प्रॉब्लम सुनते हो, एंड ऑल्सो द कोच ही शुड बी शेयरिंग द डीपेस्ट प्रॉब्लम्स विद अस, एंड दैट वी कैन मेक इट हैपन व्हेन वी आर शेयरिंग आवर प्रॉब्लम्स विद देम. सो व्हेन आई टेल यू दैट आई वाज दिस पर्सन हु वाज लाइक डाउन इन द डंप्स, that will make you understand that yes, we are the same.
It also inspire people to tell their story. They won't be afraid of you. Otherwise, they take you as a hero and they don't say.
Absolutely. We're
It's
sitting
better
in
to
the
be vulnerable.
same level. When we're sitting on the same level,
Yes,
we can share
we
everything.
are.
We are
We are
actually.
at same level.
Yes. So Nidhi Singh, yeah, you raised your hand. Please share.
Hello, ma'am. So, like the things that you have shared are so much resonating, and I feel like it was a very good connection from the beginning to the end. Like I was. Sometimes it happens that the way you were saying that the universe talks to you or not. So I feel that yeah, today universe was talking to me. I thought at 7, I think I joined around 7:10. I was just thinking, should I join or not? Then I see the topic and then I say, let's give it a go. I will walk and just like listen. But when you started uh, just like talking about your relation, the way your husband is not talkative, you are talkative. So these all things comes to something, and it like it brings so much clarity to so many of my questions that I was thinking, oh my God, this was especially designed for me today. So I'm so thankful for the way you have just described and everything that we all like. I don't know, in the beginning when I see there were only one or two people who were on the like video call and all. By the end, that communication you have already built, that connection is built, that people are coming and just coming, and you like the way you are talking is something that people are encouraged to say something. That is why I'm sure that your clinic and everything is running so smooth and everything, because it's like you have that connection. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Nidhi, and thank you, Shivani. If anybody has any
Yeah, thank
questions,
you, Nidhi, for the feedback.
yes, and I think it's 8 o'clock now, and if you, I can
Yeah,
keep talking about my stories, but I think it's better if you share whatever you have
definitely.
today. Yeah.
Thank you, Alka ma'am, for making that connection with your wonderful stories, and it made us also nostalgic about our own things. So it resonated, and I would welcome all to put up their questions. Yeah, Gaurav ji, please go ahead.
What over to you? Yeah.
Yes. So, Dr. Alka, one point always come in my mind, like you rightly said, we are running towards money, behind money all the time. We have to have a strong career. We have the aspirations. Yeah. Even for self, I think we are learning productivity, lot of things we are doing, and these days looks like we are working for mobile, we are working for all the sessions. So we are the product, frankly, if you ask me, every place, because in the morning I every day decide that no learning simulation, no, don't be junkie, but still I attend many sessions. So looks like we are product right now. So in this scenario, always I realized every week one realization that लाइफ से थोड़ा दूर जा रहे हैं, इन द सेंस पेरेंट्स के साथ टाइम स्पेंड नहीं कर रहे, किड्स के साथ नहीं कर रहे, वाइफ के साथ, मतलब वी आर टॉकिंग लॉट आउटसाइड, बट इफ आई सी वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग विद फैमिली, तो ऐसा लग रहा है समय छूट रहा है हाथ से, बच्चे बड़े हो रहे हैं, पेरेंट्स ओल्डर है, सो वी फील दैट रिग्रेट वाला थोड़ा सा फीलिंग आने लग गया है. बट अगेन मॉर्निंग, मंडे मॉर्निंग होगा, देन स्टिल वी रन ऑन द सेम ऑटो मोड. Anything
Yeah, so
here?
I will say, I'll tell you one. My son is about other son is 37 years of age, and उसका जो baby है 3.25 साल का है, and this story will make you understand everything. So he came home one day in the evening. He has his own chabi. He opened the door with the chabi, and हम लोग सब hall में बैठे हुए थे. वहाँ पे the baby wants attention. Okay, the baby. We are all hardwired for connection and attention. So the baby is like dancing and talking and shouting and screaming and all of that. और हम सब देख रहे हैं. Spectators हैं हम लोग सब लोग. I am there. My husband is there. My elder son is there, and the other one is there. His wife is there. So suddenly my son comes inside the room and he says, Kabir, come here, come here. Kabir is not interested. Kabir is in the enjoyment mode. My son felt very bad and he went inside and he was obviously sulking. So I went to him and I told him something at that moment, because अगर उस टाइम पे नहीं बोला जाए तो उसका कोई असर नहीं होगा. So he says, मम्मा वो देखता ही नहीं मेरी तरफ. मैंने कहा देखो, ये जो पीरियड है लाइफ का, इट अप्लाइज टू योर पेरेंट्स, इट अप्लाइज टू योर स्पाउस, इट अप्लाइज टू एवरीबडी. ये जो पीरियड है वो बच्चे का बहुत खूबसूरत टाइम है. अगर आप उसके साथ टाइम स्पेंड नहीं करोगे, my son is a performer, he is on stage, he performs and he does DJing and all of that. So he's always stressed out about his performance, practice, yeah, wo, rehearsal and all that. So I told him one thing. I said, if you don't spend time with this child today, the child will grow up. He will not remember you. And he took my advice quite seriously, and then he started taking less performances on stage. I said, this is the time your child needs you. After he becomes 12 and 13, he doesn't need you. But even then, you have to give time. So the answer to your question is that small, small things we can do for the people in our lives. It's a mother. I already mentioned that actually my first book is about Shukriya Zindagi, and Shukriya is my mom, and Gaurav, you already talked about gratitude, and Shukriya is my mom because she is the queen of gratitude in my life, gratefulness, and Zindagi is my dad. They're both symbolic things, and I've named it like this because it's a tribute to my mom and my dad. But the last chapter of that book it's a message to the world. So I've written in that this phone today, the two numbers are not going to flash on this phone. And what are those two numbers? My mom and my dad. And that is something, it's a painful thing for me. It's a very, very painful thing for me. But I urge you all to understand one thing. How many of you have your parents alive today? How many of you have the people who have impacted you in your life alive today? What are you doing to express your love and affection to these people and gratitude to these people? You could write a letter. I write a lot of letters. I write letters to my children on their anniversaries, on their birthdays, and I used to think that they're wasted. But one day, one boy came and my son took him inside, and I just went to ask something that tum chai piyoge, kya piyoge? And when I went inside, my son had filed all my letters in a file, and he hid it. He just hid it when I went inside. He said, "Mama, please go." I said, "Kya kar rahe ho tum log?" And then I saw that he was showing the letters to his friend. So encouraging our children to write letters, to handwritten letters, they're very careful about the letters. Other thing which we can do is send messages, make calls. So if we can do 2 calls in a day, in during the lockdown, I used to do 3 calls in a day. There's an auntie of mine, she's about 85 years of age. She stays in Delhi. And when I called her up one day, one of these days, about 2, 3 weeks back, I called her up. She wouldn't keep the phone down. People are dying for connection. Nobody is there to talk to people today. When I called her up, she was talking one sided only because she can't even hear what I'm telling because her hearing is little less. But whatever she shared with me, she was so happy. मैंने कहा आंटी मुझे जाना है. She said नहीं नहीं मेरी ये वाली बात सुनो, मेरी ये वाली बात सुनो. तो वो इतनी सारी बातें उन्होंने मुझे सुनाई कि मैं मुझे ये लगता है कि everybody is dying for connection. And what are we doing for connecting with the people in our lives? So
I'll come only 1 minute.
yeah,
My mother had a lung fibrosis. She could
fibro.
not speak properly. And my Masi had an ear problem. She could not listen. And they used to connect to each other every day for 1.5 hours. Every day.
So these are some of the things which you can do to make a rapport with your people in the house. Gaurav, it doesn't have to be spending a lot of time with your family members. It is your intention that you want to spend time. Intention is important. And one thing I will definitely tell you is that keeping my notifications to zero, keeping my phone to silent has helped me in my life to establish better relationships with my family. And one more thing I will tell you, it happened accidentally, but it has helped me. I had gone abroad for a few days, about 10 days, and my Tata Sky got disconnected. So we all have TVs in our rooms, and this is for 10 years now. We all have TVs in our rooms, but no TV because we have no Tata Sky connection. And that is a blessing in disguise. How many parents can sit without a TV and have a conversation at the dinner table? It's a blessing in disguise. I'm telling you, I did not take a connection. There is one TV in the hall where we are sitting and where we can use our hotspot and all that, and we can see something what we want to see on Netflix or some YouTube movie or YouTube songs or something like that. But otherwise, we don't have TV. So no news items, no nothing. Whenever we are sitting in the hall, we are only talking to each other. That is one thing we can do. Zero notifications, no TV, less screen time. And one thing which has helped me in my life is I've stopped attending a lot of seminars. Attend what is relevant to you, but too much of we are becoming seminar junkies, and our brain, it cannot hold that much of information. Neuroscience tells us that you can grab the attention for about 5 to 7 seconds, but after that, if you're listening for more than half an hour, it doesn't go inside the brain. So I think we should choose our seminars, we should choose our podcast, what we want to attend, which is going to actually help us to change ourselves. And rest is history. Connect with the intention of connecting. Be loving to your children, your people, and your customers. And with customers, we are very loving. I know that. But with our own home people, the man who told me that my son doesn't talk to me, I give him an idea. I told that grandfather, I told that uncle, I said, uncle, आप अपने बेटे को ना Facebook रिक्वेस्ट भेजो तो वो आपको कनेक्ट करेगा. तो फेसबुक के थ्रू ये लोग बातें करते हैं. And let me tell you one more thing. I'm also learning from my own experiences. And sometimes I go on the Instagram to see where my son is, which part of the world is he traveling. And he says, अच्छा अच्छा, he's in Nagpur. अच्छा कल आ जाएगा वापस. So many times I don't get time to talk to my own children. So I go on the Instagram and I see that. But don't go on the Instagram reels. No, never do that, because that is having too much of addictive power. So being away from social media, keeping the notifications off, are some of the methods which will help you to connect with yourself, and sitting in stillness time, in silence time, is the best thing that you can do. And reflection is a very, very strong tool, very, very powerful tool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Wonderfully
much for
summarized,
answering.
Alka ma'am. Thank you so much.
Can I
So
chip in,
any
Dr. Alka?
Absolutely.
yes.
Yeah, I am Mohan Puja from Bangalore. You said something, about Bombay local trains.
Yeah.
I was in Bombay. Now the name has been changed to Mumbai.
Yeah.
In
Mumbai,
fact, I
Mumbai. Yeah.
was in Bombay for almost 27 years. I made, some of my best friends, in local trains, and
Absolutely.
they are my friends, forever.
Bilkul.
This I just wanted to share with you. And
Yes.
you said
We-
something, about Bombay local trains. You said something, I don't recollect what you exactly said.
I
There is a
said,
film, by the title, Life in Metro, a beautiful film and beautiful songs. I really enjoyed that film, and life is like that, in Bombay. Yeah.
Bilkul, Bilkul.
Madam, I am a Mumbaikar, but I'm a specially able person, so I can't travel by local train. But
Okay.
I know much because all my friends they travel the way they talk.
Yeah.
The best travel is by train because you reach in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true, very true. Sarish ji.
100%.
Yeah. Even if you go by cab and all, you sometimes there is a possibility
Or
of
you get
getting
stuck.
stuck up, in traffic.
Yes.
But
Yesterday
my
I
local
took
trains are most reliable. Almost,
Monji.
every 3 minutes, local trains are plying
Yes.
in Bombay.
Yesterday,
Yes.
Monji, I took 2 hours to reach my home, which was only around 45 minutes of maximum 1 hour. Such a
Yeah, yeah,
traffic.
yeah. Yeah. True. Yes.
Thank thank you,
Thank you,
Unforgettable.
Mohanji.
madam. A
Thank you,
wonderful
thank you, thank
session.
you.
And you're a very good communicator with a very smiling face. And
Smiling
you spread,
face, yes.
yeah, it's a lot of, goodness you spread around. Thank you very much.
And endocrine community is very good. Happiness
Yeah.
Thank you.
community.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
Fantastic. And I like that,
Fantastic.
that you are recording the stories. That is a very good idea.
Yeah. I don't like to
People story.
preach. प्रवचन किसको भी अच्छा नहीं लगता है.
No, nobody likes. They follow you. They
मुझे
don't
भी
take
अच्छा नहीं
advice.
लगता है. मुझे कोई प्रवचन देगा तो मैं तो सुनूंगी ही नहीं बिल्कुल भी. तो these are my way of collecting the stories. I want all of you to make a story bank for yourself. Start writing the incidents in your life. Make it a diary. मैं अपनी ये डायरी रखती हूँ क्लिनिक में. Every patient who tells me a story, I put it down in the diary in bullet
Very
forms.
nice.
And then I refer to it whenever I want. So all of you should make a story bank. It helps you to share your stories with other people. Thank you.
Madam, what doctor you are?
Yeah. True. Very
Madam,
true.
what doctor and where do you stay? In Mumbai? I am in Parle.
I'm in Vashi. I'm in New
Vashi.
Bombay. And this
And
house I bought that time when I was struggling that
study.
time. Remember? I didn't have any
But
money.
what doctor you are? A doctor of specialized
I'm an endocrinologist, and
endocrinology.
I did my MD pathology, and then we started this center. And my husband is an endocrinologist, so we are treating diabetes, we are treating thyroid, we are treating osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is a disease of the bones. One last sentence I want to tell you: my mission in my life is to help you to have strong bones. It's easily preventable. Nothing effort has to be done. Only you have to move your body, go in the sun, eat calcium, and you have to exercise regularly. That helps you to build your mental health also and
But
physical
ma'am,
health.
to get calcium, you need D3, and for D3, you need magnesium.
क्या बात है?
So you have to have a good this food,
क्या बात है?
good life.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Any side effects, madam, if you take, more of, calcium tablets?
Yeah,
Of course.
of course. Very
Yeah.
few, many side effects are there. Even if you take excessive vitamin D, it gets deposited in your brain, in your parts of the body, and you have a
True.
condition called vitamin D toxicity. So everything has to be done in moderation. Life is about taking the middle path, right? It has to be a
Yeah.
balance. Yeah, that's
Best
what.
part, yes.
You have to
Too
balance
much
out everything
exercise,
in life.
too much
Yes.
exercise is also not good. Too
You
little
said
exercise.
in starting only, you have to embrace your life the way it is with your falsehood and with your good and bad both. Nice.
Bilkul.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank
Dr.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Alka,
madam.
God bless you and your family.
Privilege.
And
It's a
you.
privilege to be with you, all of you. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yes.
Thank you. We have Dr. Rukia with us. So if you wish to share your thoughts on today's session.
Dukia sir had rung me up, but I've not taken his call. I'll talk to him some other time. Sir, if you're
Yeah. Thank you, Alka ji. Thank you, Shivani ji. A wonderful session. I joined late, and but got a lot of insight, especially the last advice which you gave for bones and health, connecting with people, and I resonate, with my son. I may not have spent that much time, so I see the less connection now because at the required time, the time was not given. So it's a great, spreading our knowledge to others. So they should be benefited. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, Gauravji.
Yeah.
Yes, so Alka ma'am, only one question, and before that, I will just share like my brother-in-law also endocrinologist, and so I feel blessed because my wife, my in-laws, everyone is doctor except me. So being doctor around you, it's always help. So that is one. Second, one question from my side that being a good speaker as well as active listener, sometimes I feel like example even in this call, everyone is listening to respond, not listening to absorb or listening that yes, this is a good takeaway, I will implement. They're not thinking. So any advice from your side because I can see that sense that you are absorbing even as a good speaker, you are good active listener also.
So what you're saying is that we want to respond. There's nothing wrong in that. But first, listen and take it inside, soak it in. तो मैं कहती हूँ कि एक मैंने अटेंड किया था एक मस्कत में मैंने एक सेमिनार मतलब आई वाज अ स्पीकर ओवर देयर एंड देयर वाज दिस गाय ही वाज फ्रॉम सम आई थिंक फ्रॉम यूके ही सेड वन वेरी ब्यूटीफुल सेंटेंस. He said, listen to somebody without giving a solution to that person. So when you listen with your heart, when you listen with your soul, then you're not thinking about what you're going to reply. In a seminar like this, we are listening also, and I want you to share also. So you are definitely listening, and if you don't share, then I will not get my energy. I can't go on speaking on one side. So I'm very grateful to all of you that you shared your experiences and your life with me because that gives me energy. It boosts my momentum. It boosts my enthusiasm. 100% that when you're listening to your customer, it should not only be, but we have to respond. You see, we can't deny that we have to respond. Respond तो करना ही है. React नहीं कर रहे हैं हम लोग पर हम respond कर रहे हैं. Taking our own time, taking it inside, understanding what the other person is saying, and slowly responding to that person in a way which is appealing to that person, in a way that we make the other person feel seen and heard. That should be the intention behind responding, and not कि भाई मुझे अपने बारे में बताना है या मुझे अपना I mean, it should not be that I want to show off about myself. It should be that I want to
And
connect with the opposite person. So responding in a way to connect with the other person and making the other person shine. There are two types of people. One is illuminators and other is diminishers. So an illuminator is a person who makes the other person shine. He's connecting, he's talking, he's responding. And the diminisher is a person who only talks about himself and he diminishes the other person. कोई दूसरा बंदा कुछ बोल रहा है कि मेरे साथ जिंदगी में ऐसा हुआ तो ये दूसरा बंदा बोलता है हाँ मेरे साथ भी ऐसा हुआ. नहीं नहीं नहीं, आपको उसकी स्टोरी सुननी है, आपको समझना
Absolutely. So my point was
है.
that only
या
people just आपकी स्टोरी सुनते सुनते हाँ हाँ मेरे साथ भी ऐसा आप पूरी स्टोरी तो सुन लो. Maybe
हाँ.
can you ask the right question to them that oh what
यस
happened at that time.
यस.
आप क्यूरियोसिटी दिखाओगे तो कनेक्शन बेटर होगा इंस्टेड ऑफ
Be an
दैट हाँ हाँ.
illuminator. Yes, be an illuminator. Make the other person shine. हिरानी जी बोलिए.
I was saying most of the people don't want advice. They want you to listen. Most of the people.
I think that is a normal trend. We can be different. We can be what we want to be. We have a choice every moment to decide our words, to decide our thoughts, and to convey to the world. So that's where we are today. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Alka for your morning time you spend with all of us and make our day beautiful.
Enjoyed. I enjoyed myself. I
Yeah,
had a great time. I
yeah.
enjoyed every time. Because of you
Thank you
guys,
so
you
much.
were so fantastic. You were so much interacting with me, and that boosts the speaker. Because otherwise, it becomes
Definitely.
boring. Especially on an online session, it becomes very boring if people don't come on camera. So thank you each and every
Right.
one of you for being on camera, for giving me that energy, for giving me that enthusiasm to connect with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, our lovely audience, for making these sessions successful. And do share your feedbacks, what kind of sessions you want. If you have any specific request for any specific speaker, just ping me or use the Google form to let me know. So thank you, Gauravji and Nirupma, for sending your detailed feedback towards these sessions and what you want over here. So even your response helps me to know what you exactly want in your growth journey, and we will definitely act as as your growth partner and bring it on whatever best we can. So looking forward to have more wonderful speakers on the platform and help you all to develop the skills required, and whatever you wish you can take. In these 1 hour session, it's not possible for everything like we can bring on, but definitely you can. We are bridging this gap between people are thinking where to find the mentors. So we are bringing these mentors to you. Just whomsoever you resonated with it, just connect with them and go forward. So that's the thing. You can go forward with any of the mentors you think you find value. Just start attending their programs, and you will get a lot of insights from these trainers and coaches and mentors. So definitely connect to the right person.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here,
Thank you.
and let's meet next Saturday. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, Shivani ji. Thank you. God
Have a
bless
blessed
you.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a blessed weekend, everyone.
Yes.